Today we're having a look at a few things that are coming up in the food forest. So you'll notice just down here we have the first signs of our carrots, and over here we have some garlic coming up. Now this garlic was just from some cloves that I bought from the shop that started to grow, so I've planted them in the food forest. Now this big beastie here is some kale. Now the really interesting thing with kale is a lot of people pull it out when it gets past a certain point, but if you have a look here, you can actually chop the stem off and it will continue to grow, and you get these lovely young leaves that you can continue to harvest. Over here, now this really interesting looking vine is cucamelon. Cucamelon is also known as mouse melon. It's a type of cucumber, and it has tiny little cucumbers that grow to be about the length of the tip of your thumb. Now if you have a close look in there, you can see just behind the flower is the beginnings of a cucamelon. And to give you an idea of size, there's my finger. These are great because you can pop them whole in salad and they add a nice little juicy crunchy bite. Now here we have our other cucumbers. Now, as you can see, they're quite rapidly growing up trestle, and we have some lovely little flowers there, and some of those will actually form cucumbers. And if you have a look down on the ground there, you'll notice that some of them have dropped off. And in front of the cucumbers we have some very sad looking on those ones, but we have beetroot. And some of these I've just separated and they're looking a little sad at the moment, but they should come back okay in a day or two. And we also have some young cucumbers. Now I've kind of planted them out in different stages so that we have a continual supply of cucumber. In the back here we have our cabbages. And as you can see, we have quite a bit, and that what you can see buzzing around there is the yellow jacket. Now they're a wasp. They are a nasty little wasp if they sting you, and I have been stung a few times, but they do have benefits in the garden because, as you can see from the holes on my plants, the white cabbage moth or white cabbage butterfly has actually laid some eggs, and some of their caterpillars have started eating, but we very rarely find them on there because the wasps take them and use them to feed their young. But we do have some really nice heads of cabbage starting to form. So that's lovely. We'll be harvesting some of those probably in about a week. This is our Chinese cabbage. And over here we have our red cabbage. Now some of this is more than a season old, so this is from last season and it's actually re-sprouted. We just break off about here, let it go, and it sends out new shoots and we get new cabbages from it. So there's a little one just starting to form. We also have strawberry, and that's an amaranth, and of course our leeks. Now when the leeks get to a certain point, they start to seed. Now that seed head's not quite ready. This one's just about ready. You can see it's just about starting to open. When they get to that point, I generally pull them off. They leave a stump that just dies back, and I toss these around through the other part of the food forest to spread our leeks around. And as you can see, the bees love the leek heads. We also have a beetroot going to seed. Now, to give you an idea, there's the actual beetroot. Now that's good hand size, and that's no good for eating anymore. We have another one over here. This one hasn't started to go to seed yet, but you can see just how big it actually is. We also have some corn, our tomatoes, which I've just harvested a few ripe ones in the last couple of days. In front of our tomatoes we have some marigolds, which I've just put in today. Now that one there will probably be ripe tomorrow, maybe the day after. We have some melon just starting off, our olives, plums. Unfortunately the birds have gotten at that one, so we'll just toss that. We also have some more tomatoes here. In this bed we have some celery that's gone to seed, or going to seed. Again, same as with the leek, once this gets to a certain point, we will pull it out and chuck it around the food forest. We have a rhubarb, some broadleaf plantain, which, as well as that seed pods dry out, again I'll also scatter those. We have our asparagus bed. Now, unfortunately we had to move that this year, so it's only just starting to re-establish itself, and as you can see, need a little bit of weeding done. That is not a weed, that is plantain, purslane. Purslane, and you can actually eat it. It's kind of really almost like a succulent, and it's really nice fresh in salad. This bed is under construction as far as filling it. I'm just waiting for my next lot of compost ready to be going in there, so I'm not bothering to weed it or anything at this point in time. We have our rose apple, which has just gone absolutely nuts in the last couple of weeks with the heat and the watering. We have our aprium sapodilla seedling. There's a young orange. Let's have a look at how our Adriatic Fig is going. It's looking a little dry this year, but a lot of the figs are struggling because of the heat. We do have one little fig on it, but unfortunately that's all we've got on it this year. And we have our josterberry, which is also not coping real well this year with the heat. So that's it for the veggie patch part of our food forest, and I'll take you for a wander down the other section. Have a look at the next video.